Hey friends, today we're going to work on this Lucky Pallet Sign Door Hanger from the Rust Covered Cottage by Christina. I love how it turned out. It was so fun. So I'm going to go in with Verde Green Glaze. This can be used for distressing or it can be used like a stain. I'm going to use it like a stain. I'm going to use my terry cloth covered staining sponge to work with the grain and give an even coat all over, let that dry, and then I'm going to go in and I'm going to do 2 more coats until I get to the color that I'm wanting. I'm going to do that on the 2 back pieces and the shamrock. I love how it's turning out. Then I'm going to go in and I'm going to kind of color where that heart cutout is with Farmhouse linen chalk style paint. All of these are from Paint Couture. This is a mineral acrylic in the shade Carbon, also from Paint Couture. I'm going to do 2 layers of that, and I'm just gonna keep putting the Farmhouse linen on that spot until I have covered where I was sampling my Verde green to see if I wanted to use it on this project. Letting both coats dry in between. The Verde green stain, because I did 3 coats of it, it did take overnight to dry completely, and you want it to dry completely before you try to do anything more on top of it. So I'm just going to get my 3 even layers, make sure I don't have any like globs or stroke marks anywhere, and just making sure it's nice and even before I move on. I love how it's turning out. I hope you do too. I love stain in general, but then colored stain is just so fun to work with. So there's the 3 layers. They're completely dry. They dried overnight. And I'm going to go in with my cheap chippy brush. And I'm just going to brush on Farmhouse linen chalk style paint until I have the coverage that I'm looking for. I'm wanting that distressed look across the whole thing, and I am going to go in with a sander and distress it even more. So I'm just getting that until I like it. And now here I'm going to tape off 3 of these slats and only do the chippy brush on 2 of them. And I'm going in with Autumn Sage. This is such a nice soft green. It's one of my favorites, and I think it looks so good with this Verde green stain. I'm also going to sand that once it's all nice and dry, getting everything really good and dry before I do any kind of sanding. So then I'm going to take my Gator Sander with a low grit sandpaper and just go over it a little bit, wipe it off, make sure there's no dust before I go to glue my pieces. And there are score lines where the words Lucky goes, so I was just making sure I had it all lined up. And then I'm going to go in with a little bit of that leftover Autumn Sage and distress around the shamrock and even in that heart. For the other pieces, I'm going to use my Debi's DIY Dark Wax. I'm going to make sure I hit around the edges of the round. Especially there were a couple of places where I actually sanded off all the stain and I wanted to cover that up. It's easy fix with the dark wax. Just going to brush some of that along the other areas. And then I'm going to go in with my Dead Flat Topcoat. You know this is my favorite. Just give it a quick brush over on any area that has stain or paint. Let that dry. Then brush it over the other pieces. I usually like to do it before I glue anything together, but I got a little bit ahead of myself today. I'm going to get that really good and dry before I try to glue the Lucky round to the backboard. And it does have score lines, which make it really easy to get that, but I am trying to make sure I have it straight on there. And then I'm going to use the jute that Christina wraps her packages with to make my hanger. And I tried pulling it through and then thinking maybe I would tie it, but I ended up just tying knots in it and then using my staple tool to staple that in the back. I was making sure that I had it the right length. And there you have it. I love how it turned out. There it is on my door in a different kind of light. It's just such a fun project. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks.